Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Shakadash. The belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. I want to say salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shema, this week's topic is going to be entitled Cornelius Breakdown, Acts 10. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This is the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. Now, why am I breaking this chapter down? Because during the time of One West, it was believed that Cornelius was an Italian, like a heathen. They thought he was a so-called white man. He was the only one that was promised. We're gonna make room for him in his house, which is completely false. And it's crazy when we read it now. It's just so obvious to us, but that was a stumbling block of that day. Now it says he was a centurion band of the Italian band, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and prove through the scriptures that you had Jews in Italy, right? So-called Negroes in Italy, all right? And that he was not a heathen. This is the book of Acts, chapter 18, verse 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth. See, the Apostle Paul was traveling all over. And found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. See that? So he was a Jew lately come from Italy. So there was Jews in Italy. I mean, that right there should nip it in the bud, but we're gonna, I'm gonna, Lord willing, give the precepts that I was taught coming in, all right, to break down this particular chapter, and we can't assume what's easy for us and simply comprehend might not be very layered for someone else, right? So this is why we go back through these breakdowns. It says, lately come from Italy with his wife, Priscilla, because that Claudius commanded all Jews to depart from Rome and came unto them. See, so it was following a particular order. And look, if you coming from Italy and these different places, guess what? You're going to speak in their language and most likely pick up some of their customs. This is the understanding of the Israelite foreigners. Watch 5 basic scriptures dealing with the Israelite foreigners for more on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the next precept in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 24. It says, salute all them that have the rule over you, and all the saints, they of Italy, salute you. So, boom. All the saints of the Israelites, all right? And in fact, Cornelius is a saint, which is an Israelite, okay? The saints of the Israelites. I'm going to go to that precept later, all right? So right now we're getting different precepts showing that, look, there was Italians, there was Jews dwelling in Italy who were called Italian, okay? Just like how you have Jakes dwell here that are called American, and so on and so forth, okay? All right, let's jump back in the book of Acts. Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 10 again. It says, there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, which sounds like a Jake name. Cornelius! It says a centurion. Oh, by the way, Cornelius was a name in the Planet of the Apes movie. A centurion of the band called the Italian band. So he was like in law enforcement, pretty much. It says, now here's the key now in the second verse. A devout man and one that feared the Most High with all his house. So that right there, I mean, man, it's so clear as day that this guy's a Jake. Can't imagine that, back then they were thinking he was an Edomite, but again, that was a stumbling block of that day. All right, our apostles already had the understanding. And I'm gonna say something. This breakdown was so prolific. In fact, it's why the apostles departed from One West. It played a factor in it, right? A major factor in it, because the Spirit revealed that, look, Cornelius is an Israelite, and it caused a huge tumult, right? So this one was heavy, man. And it's crazy because today, how the truth has evolved, this is like not really a hurdle for us to the Spirit, right? It's clear. Now it says a devout man and one that feared the Most High. So with that said, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to jump 2. I'm going to jump to the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 5. And it reads, "And they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men." So, right there, it's letting you know that Jakes are going to be the ones that's devout. All right? We'll read it again, Acts 2 and 5. "And they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men," here's a kicker now, "out of every nation under heaven." So not only do you have them being devout, but they dwelled every nation. You had Jakes there. When you read the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter, those Jakes was coming from their land, wherever they dwelt, up to Jerusalem, all right, to honor the Feast of Weeks, or Pentecost, which is one of the 3 high holy days where you must go up to Jerusalem to present yourself, give your offerings and what have you, okay? And they were devout men, because to do that is it shows that you are devout, right? You're taking the time out, you're making sure that you're not going to miss no high holy day because you're devout to your belief, to your faith, right? So Cornelius was of that same ilk, an Israelite, and not only just an Israelite, a very devout one, right? Cornelius wouldn't be a guy that's constantly making excuses to not come to camp, for example, all right? I'm talking about bullshit excuses, all right? He'll be on point, all right? He's a man that prayed. He was a brother that was on point, all right? It says, "A devout man, one that feared the Most High with all his house." And that right there is all his house. That means his family, his kindred, all of his house, all right, is going to make it. It says, "which gave much alms to the people and prayed to the Most High always." Right, so he prayed to the Most High always, and he gave much alms. So he was a very charitable brother. It says, he saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of the Most High coming to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. So an angel came to him while he was praying. That's the 3rd verse of Acts, the 3rd chapter. The next precept you have to go to is the book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 15. And I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't jump to the Apocrypha. I'll quote this to the best of my ability. It says, "I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels who deliver the prayer of the saints to the Most High and go to and fro in the earth." So, an angel came to Cornelius, all right, when he was praying. So, if an angel's not going to come to a heathen, because it says the angel to take the prayers of the saints up to the Most High. Now, with that said, we're going to jump to the book of Psalms 148 and 4, and it's 148 and 14, and it reads, "He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel." Even, Old English, really means which is. So which is the children or sons of Israel, sons and daughters, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So that right there lets you, I mean, man, but we could keep going. So we're getting the understanding that Cornelius was an Israelite, man. Okay? That's what I'm breaking down. Cornelius was an Israelite. Verse 4. "And when he looked unto him, he was afraid, and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are coming up for a memorial before the Most High." And that again goes with Tobit 12 and 15 right there. His prayers went up to the Most High. think there's a scripture that says the prayers of the wicked is an abomination to the Most High. We already know who the wicked is. So right there again, this is more proof that this man is an Israelite. And now send men to Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodgeth with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to do. So the Most High was using Cornelius to help out Peter. I'm gonna read a little bit more, but I think that was pretty much the point I wanted to make. That look, Cornelius is an Israelite, and those are the precepts I wanted to give. Very simple, very, you know, sticking in the spirit of with the basics, not going too deep right now or anything like that. Just putting precepts together to get understanding on a general foundation of fundamental things of what we teach. It says, and when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants and a devout soldier of them that waited with him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them on to Joppa on the morrow, as they went on the journey and drew nigh unto the city. Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. So we both see that these men, Peter and Cornelius, are devout men. Now I'm gonna sum up what happens in the book of the Acts the 10th chapter, because the point was I pretty much wanted to prove Cornelius was an Israelite. But when the Apostle Peter, he's gonna have a vision of seeing unclean beast, and in that vision the Lord is going to tell him to eat, and he's going to say, Lord, I never ate no unclean beast. And then the Lord is going to say, look, whatever the Most High has made, the Most High could turn something unclean and make it clean. And it's not talking about eating actual animals. The Apostle Peter realizes when he sees the men that Cornelius sent onto him, that the unclean beast that he saw in his vision that the Lord told him to eat is the Israelite foreigners. All right, that's what it means. It's not talking about you could eat anything as long as you pray over it, because that's what the fuck these people will teach you, man, in the world. No, that's bullshit. The scriptures tell you in the book of Romans 3:31. All right, do we then make void the law through faith? Most High forbid. We don't void the law. All right, Matthew 5:17 tells us that Yahushua came to fulfill the law. So the dietary law found in the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter, is to be kept, and to the best of our ability rehearse, pursuant to the book of Judges 5 and 11, rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, so that was the whole thing with Cornelius. Okay, he represented the Israelite foreigners that would come in. All right, he represented he represented the unclean beast, all right, that Peter saw in that vision to go and deal with. All right, the Gentiles, the unnatural Gentiles, which are the Israelite foreigners. So with that, I hope you brothers got that breakdown, that understanding that Cornelius is an Israelite. All right, and I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing there most truth and sincerity. Shalom.